Hey guys, it's FanaticGuide, and today there was an Apple event, and in that event we got the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro, and they are pretty big news, I'll have to tell you. So we're gonna go over all the changes and whatnot, see what's different, what's not, and let's get started. So I'm starting with the 12 because it's the least expensive. I want to start with the worst first and go to the best last, because that's the way it works. As you can see, only 5 colors compared to the 11 6 colors, because the 11 had yellow and purple. The 12 doesn't even have those. Now it just has black, green, mint green, I'd say, white. You can see the white along the borders, product red, and blue. I think they have a specific name for that. And as you can tell, they bring back the design from the iPhone 4, 5 days, the boxy design and whatnot. And if you look further down, you can tell they've relocated the SIM tray to the left. And they put some sort of smart connector thing, I don't know what that is, where the SIM tray would be. I don't know what the hell that is. If you do know, leave it in the comments below, and I'll see. So, the biggest news with the iPhone 12 is it gets 5G. And that's incredibly fast. That is like big news. Very big news. That's like cutting down on download speeds and upload speeds. Anyway, enough said. It also gets the A14 Bionic, which we've seen in the iPad Air last month. And it also gets the OLED display, which is a nice addition because with the iPhone 11, which this succeeds, we did not get that. And we didn't get that in the iPhone XR either. And ceramic shield, this basically increases the durability of the phone's front screen by 4 times, which is a big improvement. And other phones like the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus also have ceramic displays. Despite its curved display, which normally decreases the durability of the glass, it should work fine in drops, because the ceramic will enhance the durability of it. And other big news, night mode is now on every camera of the phone, albeit the front camera and the other 2 cameras. And it has it all, not reading from there, in 2 perfect sizes. You're not mistaken, 2. Seriously. And like I said, not that. 2 sizes. One is the 6.1-inch display, which is the same size as the iPhone 11's display, and the other is a 5.4-inch display. And the 12 mini is itself physically smaller than an iPhone 8, though its screen size is bigger. So it'll fit in your hand perfectly. That's what I have to say about it. And of course, skipping over that, I went over ceramic shield. Can pause and read that if you want to. And now, aerospace grade aluminum edges, basically the same as what you've seen in the iPhone 11 and 10R. And H2OK, basically it's water resistant. And of course I've went over the finishes already. I'm gonna need to see the green again. Yeah, it looks like mint green. I know the iPhone 11's green finish was mint green. And I've already gone over the 5G on iPhones. During the event, Tim Cook actually had the Verizon CEO talk about the whole 5G thing. That was shortly before the actual device was unveiled. So, yeah. Now, you've seen A14 in the iPad Air, the new one, last month. And something I didn't know, probably should pay more attention to this during the last event, is that it has some new mechanical changes to it as well. Like some more cores in the neural engine and whatnot. Anyway. And of course, we get the very same OLED display as per times, which I think is a welcome addition, because we've all been suffering from LCDs not being true blacks, and now with OLEDs being on the lower end models, or mid-range I should say, we finally get true blacks. Finally. And also we get huge jumps in pixel density. And like I said, true blacks and high resolutions. And of course, the dual camera system. Ultra wide, I don't know which one's which. I believe this one's ultra wide because it's basically the same setup like that in the new iPad Pro. And the iPhone 11 also only had a wide and ultra wide lens. And now they both have night mode. And let me see. And now night mode is improved also. It can bring in 27% more light. So if you're taking photos by day or moonlight, you'll get a level of detail and color not possible before. I wonder how this compares to the Pixel 5's night mode. I don't know. So let's just take a look at these. So we can pause and look at those, whatnot. Now improved deep fusion, I think. Because now deep fusion is also on the ultra wide lens, whereas before it was not. It was only on the regular wide angle lens, and only there. You can pause and read that if you want. Now, automatic magic. Because now, with the iPhone 12, we get a new smart HDR, which balances elements in a shot, bringing out detail in the subject and trees. Yada, yada, yada. So, anyway. basically recognize the scenes and adjust things like sharpness and color and white balance with machine learning and whatnot. And let's see how portrait mode has been improved, because portrait mode has had some problems with object detection in the past. So let's see how that's been improved. Portrait mode is even better at artfully blurring the background to put all the focus on your subject. Lovely, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. So now, onto video. Okay, there's now night mode time lapse. Nice. And boom, you own a film studio. Whatever. Now you can edit 4K HDR video with Dolby Vision, edit in Photos or iMovie, then zap it into your TV using AirPlay to see all the color and detail. It's a start to finish cinematic experience found only on iPhone, which comes in handy when your dog does something adorable. First camera ever to record in Dolby Vision. And now, night mode selfies. I did say that the selfie camera did have night mode, and that was right. And it says, nighttime is right time for a selfie, because night mode and the slew of other great features are now on the front camera, like Deep Fusion, Smart HDR3, Dolby Vision recording, and more. Your lucky duck face. Yeah, right. And now, MagSafe. It returns. And why I say it returns is because it was on MacBooks prior to 2016 for charging and whatnot. And now it returns, but on the iPhone. So you can use it for charging and attaching accessories and whatnot. So there you go for that. Accessories I think will be coming out later this month, or probably next month, I don't know. Yeah, you can, yeah, as proven there. Snap on a new MagSafe case, wallet, or both. Fear not, the wallet is shielded so it's safe for credit cards. Good. Turbochargeable. Seems nice. So basically, the MagSafe in the internals uses magnets that go around the wireless charging coil. And so that's basically how things are able to snap onto the back of the phone. And like I said, I think they'll be coming out sometime this month, if not then, sometime next month. And this basically goes over iOS 14, privacy is built in, and of course, reduction of carbon footprint by thinking about what's inside the box. Of course, we can't go without mentioning that. So, what are they doing to do that? Of course, they are removing the earphones and charge port and the charging brick. Because, of course, those things tend to amount to a huge amount of e-waste, and sometimes you may have those things anyway. And like they say, across the iPhone family, we're removing the power adapter and ear pods that frequently go unused, but including the fast charging USB-C to Lightning cable that most people need. That shrinks packaging, and more boxes per shipment means fewer shipments overall. We're also transitioning our manufacturing partners to renewable energy. Altogether, this eliminates over 2 million metric tons of carbon emissions annually. And like this says, even little things are a big deal. And Apple recycles even the tiniest parts. So it says iPhone 12 uses 100% recycled rare earth materials in all magnets, including those in our MagSafe accessories. And it says spatial audio with Dolby Atmos. Sound moves around you in 3D space so you feel like you're inside the action. Have two numbers. That's with eSIM that's been around since the iPhone XS. And more shots, less lag. Snapping shots quickly. iPhone intelligently adapts. You can pause all this to read. You can pause this video to read that. Then, if you have an iPhone that has this feature, you can go in and see the iPhone 12 in ARKit if your phone is capable of using ARKit, which I believe if you have an iPhone 8 or newer, you can do that. And now you can see feature accessories. I was right. You can order it starting October the 16th, which is this Friday. And of course, AirPods. You can get all that. Now let's view the pricing. I think that's also important. Let's see. Pre-orders start on the normal iPhone 12 this Friday, and for the iPhone 12 mini on November the 6th. The pricing for the iPhone 12 mini starts at $700 before trade-in, and for the regular iPhone 12, $800 before trade-in. So let's see the storage sizes. Both phones will be available in 64, 128, and 256 gig configurations. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So here we go. Onto the iPhone 12 Pro. This is the big one. And it has pretty much all the things I mentioned about the iPhone 12 plus more. Like the 5G capability, the A14 and whatnot, the ceramic shield, all that. Plus it has less bezel than the iPhone 12. I'm personally disappointed to see that the notch is pretty much the same size. That's just my personal opinion. But you may have your own personal opinion. And of course, it still comes in the Pro and Pro Max sizes, but they are both slightly bigger than their predecessors. The 12 Pro comes in at 6.1 inches for the screen size, compared to the iPhone 11 Pro that came in at 5.8 inches, and the 12 Pro Max comes at 6.7 inches, whereas its predecessor, the 11 Pro Max, came in at 6.5 inches. So you can see right there what I mean. And moving on down, it talks about ceramic shield. I already talked about that. And again, you can pause the video at any time to just go ahead and read what I'm talking about. Of course, instead of using just the regular aluminum, it uses now surgical grade glass. Not surgical grade glass, surgical grade stainless steel along the border. And like the regular iPhone 12, it obviously uses the same boxy design. It wouldn't depart from that anyway. And of course, it has IP68 water resistance like the regular iPhone 12, but it's rated at 6 meters of intrusion. And of course, we get 4 finishes. We get graphite, which is replacing space gray, silver, same, gold, also the same, and Pacific blue, which replaces midnight green. And of course, we get 5G. You can pause to read that if you want. And of course, the A14 Bionic, I've already talked about that. You get 50% faster CPU and GPU performance than any other smartphone chip. 11.8 billion transistors. Up to 80% faster neural engine. The first 5 nanometer chip in the industry, and the 16-core neural engine. Up to 70% faster machine learning accelerators. I want to see an all-new image signal processor, which I think is pretty cool. I want to see how this compares to the A13. Like in real-world testing, not just benchmark and whatnot. Like Antutu and Geekbench and whatnot. Because I've seen like the A13 compared to the A12 was only like a minimal performance improvement in real-world testing. And I want to see how the A13 compares to the A14. Because it seems potentially good. I just want to see. And now, moving on to the newest addition to the camera. You may have seen it already. The LiDAR scanner, which we've seen first in the new iPad Pro, which we saw earlier this year, has come to the iPhone 12 Pro. And it actually has come in a smaller form factor than the iPad Pro's LiDAR sensor did. And of course, it says, fun fact actually, that NASA is using LiDAR technology for its next Mars landing. And this is using LiDAR scanners to measure how long it takes light to reflect back from objects. And so it can create a depth map of whatever space you're in. I think that's pretty cool. So as you can see, the new LiDAR sensor is right there just below the ultra-wide camera. This is basically the same camera layout as the 11 Pro, except on the 11 Pro, the microphone was down here. The mic has now been moved over there and is now smaller. And as you can see, again, the LiDAR sensor is now here and is smaller. And if you compare this to the 2020 iPad Pro's LiDAR sensor, it was up here and was bigger. And now again, night mode comes to both the wide and ultra wide cameras and is better than ever at capturing incredible low light shots. And of course, LiDAR makes night mode portraits possible. So I'm wondering if this works with portrait mode. I'm curious. And the wide camera lets in 27% more light for greater detail and sharper focus day or night. And wide camera has an f1.6 aperture, and of course captures 27% more light. And now it has a 7-element wide lens for edge-to-edge sharpness, and it now has a new optical image stabilization that makes 5,000 adjustments per second. Can you believe that? And of course, LiDAR, we've already talked about that. Delivers up to 6 times faster autofocus. Wow. And of course, I've already talked about the new camera layout. And of course, the bigger iPhone maxes out the Pro camera system. A 47% larger sensor and larger pixels dramatically increase the amount of light gathered on the wide camera. And all that. And now we get 87% better low light photos, 5 times optical zoom range. Can you believe that? I can't even believe that. And now we get new sensor shifts, optical image stabilization. We've already went over that. And of course, night mode, portrait mode. Night mode portraits on the wide angle camera give you vivid colors as well as beautiful bokeh that accumulates lit buildings, street lights, and any background lights. So that's going to be pretty cool. And of course, updated diffusion that kicks in for low to mid light scenes. The neural engine analyzes multiple exposures pixel by pixel to bring out unprecedented detail in the magnifying glass, the woman, and the wall. And of course, updated portrait mode. I don't think I need to go over that. You can pause the video if you want. And of course, more detail in the blink of artificial intelligence. I've already went over the new Smart HDR, so you can pause the video if you want. And of course, beyond faces, like I've said, Smart HDR 3 uses machine learning to recognize scenes so it can bring out the cracks in the ground and the roughness of the hill without increasing noise in the sky. And of course, here are shots taken on the new iPhone. Yeah, it's pretty good, I'd have to say. Of course, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good camera. It's like they took it one step, now they're taking it like 5 more steps. Can't believe it. You can pause the video anywhere you want to take a look at that. Of course, a snapshot of each camera, ultra wide. The ultra wide still has the same field of view as the 11 Pro did. It has an f2.4 aperture, 5-element lens, whatnot. And the 12 Pro Max has the sensor shift optical image stabilization, whereas 12 Pro just has regular optical image stabilization. Whereas the ultra wide appears not to have any optical image stabilization yet. That's on the ultra wide. The telephoto does have optical image stabilization, and they have different apertures depending on which one you go for, and a focal length of 52 on the 12 Pro and 65 on the 12 Pro Max. And something called Pro Raw for an absurd amount of creative control. And this gives you all the standard raw information along with the Apple imaging pipeline data. So you can get a head start on editing with noise reduction and multi-frame exposure adjustments already in place, and have more time to tweak color and white balance. And of course, Dolby Vision recording with 60 times more colors and infinitely more spectacular. So, like the iPhone 12, this is the first camera ever to record with Dolby Vision. It jumps from 8 to 10-bit HDR recording, capturing 700 million colors for more lifelike video. Then it goes one better, recording in Dolby Vision, the format used by film studios. And it can even edit Dolby Vision videos and use AirPlay to see every bit of difference on the big screen. That's pretty nice, I'd have to say. So this is going to be like film quality stuff. I'm going to be impressed by this. Well, actually, I already am. So, the wide angle's larger sensor brings you more detail out of the shadows, and for the first time, you can take night mode time-lapse videos with a tripod to capture scenes with dramatic motion. Now, even your movies can pull an all-nighter. Pretty cool. And now for the true depth camera. Like I said, night mode selfies are on there too. Like I covered with the iPhone 12, the regular one. And now there's an improved deep fusions. There's obviously Smart HDR3 and whatnot. And we've also got the OLED display. And I think it's been updated. Yeah, we've got over now 3.4 million pixels on there. So that's, according to them, the most on an iPhone ever. So that's quite a lot. And we've got MagSafe on there already. I've already went over that, so I don't need to go over that again. So, got this. You can see where the ring is. That's where it is on the inside. It can inductively charge as well from there. Then it talks about iOS 14 and whatnot, the privacy. And again, it talks about the removal of the earphones and the charging brick and the charging cord, which will be happening on, which will be occurring on every iPhone from now on, including the new iPhone SE, which I've already made a video about. And they've also mentioned they were going to do this with the new Apple Watches. So be prepared, don't be surprised. Anyway. Okay, this does still include the power adapter. So they're removing the power adapter in earpods, but they're keeping the USB-C to Lightning. Okay. So what the hell are they going to do that with the phones that still ship with 5-watt power adapters? I don't know, because those ones are still on sale. The iPhone 11, 10R, SE, those ones are still on sale. And you can pause those to read it. Then if your phone is AR capable, you can view that. And of course, MagSafe, like I said, you can start ordering that on Friday. And of course, we'll view the pricing, which starts at $1,000 for the 12 Pro and $1,100 for the 12 Pro Max. And now, instead of starting at 64 gigs in terms of capacity, it now starts at 128 gigs for capacity and goes from there to 256 and 512 gigs. And so yeah. Alright, so that is going to do it for now. As you can see, the new iPhone SE, iPhone 11, and iPhone XR are still for sale, but the iPhone 11 Pro has been discontinued, and in its place come the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. So, anyway, if you found this helpful, then please make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time.